I don't know who wants to be next, but please feel free to come up and get sworn in.
I, Michael K. Yeager,
I, Michael K. Yeager,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Oh, okay.
You have to be, please. I, Eileen Dreisbach,
I, Eileen Dreisbach,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations. You're welcome.
I, Justin R. Bowers,
I, Justin R. Bowers,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Is the tax collector here? Well, congratulations, everyone. How about we rise for a moment of silence and prayer, followed by the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't have paper. Anyone have it for a roll call? Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Okay, the mayor is present. Mr. Yeager,
Here.
Mr. Bowers,
Here.
Ms. Chronicle,
Here.
Mrs. Larison,
Here.
Mr. Parker,
Here.
Mr. Pepitone,
Here.
Mrs. Dreisbach, Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. May I at this time have nominations for the president of Borough Council?
I nominate Debbie Smith.
Okay, we have a nomination. I would think a vote is in order.
Need a second.
Right, can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Okay. Mr. Yeager,
Yes.
Mr. Bauer,
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle,
Yes.
Ms. Larison,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Pepitone,
Yes.
Mrs. Dreisbach,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Okay, that motion carries 8-0. Congratulations. time, I'd like to have a nomination for vice president.
Nominate Danielle Larson.
Okay, thank you, Liz.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Okay. Mr. Yeager.
Yes.
Mr. Bowers.
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle.
Yes.
Mrs. Larison.
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Pepitone.
Yes.
Ms. Dreisbach.
Yes.
And Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries 8-0. Congratulations. Borough Council President.
No.
Thank you, everyone. Next on our agenda is going to be the actual reorganization part of the, and we're going to do the appointments. I'm sorry. Yes. I did do the I'm sorry, we forgot. Oh, okay, the mayor didn't do the pro tem. I'm sorry, we're going to do a pro tem this time. So under reorganization under 5C is a nomination for the president pro tem.
I nominate Justin Bowers.
Second.
Okay, we have Justin Bowers and a second. Do I roll call on that, please? That's what it is.
Can we just get a quick explanation as to what exactly that is?
A pro tem? A pro tem is if something would happen to the president or vice president, the pro tem is that third person in line. It's something that we didn't do, but we could have done. There wasn't one time where we did actually need the pro tem. So it's just a safety measure to put that in.
Is that something we have to add to our code or anything? That's not in
No,
ours?
no, it's in the borough code. Yeah, I actually got it from the PSCB website also.
It's not in
recommended.
Morrisville Borough. Excuse me.
State borough code.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
thank you. Okay, so if we can do a roll call on that, please. One second. Okay. Oh, sorry, Mr. Bowers.
Yes.
Eileen Dreisbach.
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle.
Yes.
Ms. Larson.
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Pepitone.
Yes.
Mr. Yeager.
Yes.
And Ms. Smith, yes. Congratulations, Mr. Bowers. That passed 8-0. Okay, next on the agenda are the appointments. First one on the appointment is 6A, a motion to appoint interim borough manager / borough secretary / open records officer. May I have a nomination?
I nominate Scott Mitchell.
Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Okay, we'll do a roll call on that, please. That would be for Scott Mitchell as our interim borough manager / borough secretary / open records officer. Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Ms. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
No.
Ms. Larson?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yeah.
Mr. Pepitone?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Ms. Smith, yes. That passes 6-2. Congratulations, Mr. Mitchell.
Where would you like me?
Don't be literal.
Okay. Next on our agenda is 6D, if everybody can hear me. A motion to appoint Assistant Borough Secretary. Can I have a nomination, please?
Virginia Cyphers.
Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Okay, then that motion is to appoint Virginia Cyphers as the Assistant Borough Secretary. We'll have a roll call on that. Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Ms. Ricebach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Ms. Larson?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Pepitone?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Ms. Smith, yes. Congratulations to Virginia Cyphers. Motion 6C is a motion to appoint the Borough Treasurer. Can I have a nomination, please?
I nominate Jen Dorado.
Andrea? Okay. Any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Okay, then we'll take a roll call on that for Joan Dorado for the appointment for Borough Treasurer. And roll call, please. Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Ms. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Ms. Larson?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Pepitone?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Ms. Smith, yes. Congratulations to Joan Dorado. Okay, next motion on the agenda is a motion to appoint the Assistant Borough Treasurer. Can I have a nomination, please?
Nancy Dorado.
Thank you. Okay. Any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Okay, so the nomination would be for Nancy Dorado as our Assistant Borough Treasurer, and we'll do a roll call on that. Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Ms. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Ms. Larson?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Pepitone?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Ms. Smith, yes. Congratulations to Nancy Dorado as our Assistant Borough Treasurer. Next motion on the agenda is a motion to appoint our Borough Solicitor. Can I have a nomination, please?
I nominate Flager and Associates.
Okay. Is there any other nomination? Any other nomination? Okay, that's a motion then to appoint Slater and Associates as our Borough Solicitor. And we'll do a roll call on that, please. Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Ms. Dreisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Ms. Larson?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Pepitone?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Ms. Smith, yes. Congratulations to Flager and Associates, our Borough Solicitor. Congratulations. Okay, the next motion on the agenda is a motion to appoint the Borough Engineer. Can I have a nomination for that, please?
Gilmore Associates?
Thank you. Is there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Okay, then the nomination is for Gilmore and Associates as the Borough Engineer. We'll Do a roll call on that, please. Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mr. Eisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
Yes.
Ms. Larson?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Pepitone?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Ms. Smith, yes. Congratulations to Gilmore Associate as our engineer. 6G is a motion to appoint special counsel. Can I have a motion for that, please? I mean, a nomination, I'm sorry, for that?
I wish to nominate Obermeyer, Redmond, Maxwell, and Happel.
Is there any other nominations for that? Any other nominations?
Just really quickly, this was also an addition. Can we get an explanation for this as well?
Yes, there's a lot of places that do nominations for adding extra engineers or extra attorneys, whether it be for, if you need them for special counsel, labor or anything else that you would need. You don't use them unless you have to use them, but it's always easier to do at the time that you're reorganizing if you're going to do it. I know some townships have like 3 or 4 engineers according to what they're going to be using it for.
So we don't have any specific reason, specific designation for this special counsel?
Well, I think it's a good thing to have on staff. We have several contracts and things coming up, so if we do need extra legal, yeah.
I'm not sure if I understand the difference between the solicitor and the counsel. Or is the special counsel something that's going to be spelled out?
You can use them for, like I said, special labor if you have, if, let's say, Mr. Flager's firm isn't able to handle several things at one time and you need to bring in an extra counsel, we'd be able to do that. You can vote or not vote for it, Ms. Chronicle.
No, I'm just asking for what this
Yeah,
is.
that's what that's for.
If we need it, we need it. I'm not,
Yeah, and you could do it at another time, it's just, because it's chosen to do it as a reorganization.
because it's new. So that's why I was
Yes.
asking.
Yes, it is, yes. Okay. Okay, can we do a roll call on that, please? Mr. Bowers,
Yes.
Mr. Osborne, Ms. Chronicle,
Yes.
Ms. Larson,
Yes.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Pepitone,
Yes.
Mr. Yeager,
Yes.
Ms. Smith, yes. Congratulations to Obermeyer, Redmond, Maxwell, and Whipple as our special counsel. 6H is a motion to appoint the Borough Building Inspector / zoning officer / fire inspector / code enforcement officer.
I nominate Keystone Municipal Services.
Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Okay, then we will do a roll call for Keystone Municipal Services, Inc., I believe it is, to be the Borough Building Inspector / zoning officer / fire inspector / code enforcement officer. And roll call on that, please. Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mr. Eisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
No.
Ms. Larson?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
No.
Mr. Pepitone?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Ms. Smith, yes. That passes 6-2. Congratulations. to Keystone. At this time, I'd like to open the hearing of the public. I don't know if anyone has signed up, but you would just like to come to the podium and say something? Is there a sheet there, someone sign? Thank you. Appreciate that, thank you. Nancy Sherlock, would like to come to the podium?
Comments already. Good evening, everyone, Mayor, newly elected, and those that have been already seated. Tonight is a night for celebration, and I do congratulate those who have been re-elected, Mayor Dave Varela and Colleen Chronicle, and also the newly elected councilpersons, Ms. Weisbach, Mr. Yeager, and Justin Bauer. And also I'd like to mention, as the judge mentioned earlier this evening, the row offices in Bucks County were sworn in this morning. And that was Judy Reese, who's our new proprietary. We have Milton Worrell, our sheriff, District Attorney Matthew Whitehorn, Controller Neil Doherty, and Recorder of Deeds Robin Robinson. So congratulations to them as well. This election did not turn out the way some had hoped, but I absolutely believe in the process, and I do believe that the majority rules. So congratulations to all. What I would like to mention, though, is the paper said that this is a 4-4 split, 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans. I'd just like to correct that, because I do believe that 2 of our Republicans, or 2 of our Democrats, do not believe in the democratic principles. So, I'm not sitting down. It's my time to speak. I have the right to
Point
speak.
of order.
Then make it quick.
Doesn't understand what democracy is.
Point of order.
Make it
Is that, no, just a point of order, you can speak.
Thank you very much. Yes, I mean, I wasn't going to point out things this evening, but it seems that the crowd here doesn't believe it. So, I mean, we have instances, I'll bring up at another time, because tonight's not the night to bring it up, but I can bring up certain things that both Ms. Dreisbach and Mr. Yeager, who are registered Democrats, excuse me.
Don't do that.
Anyway, there's been talk about outsourcing the public works. I would just like this council to please consider doing such a thing. If I don't think that it's necessary. You have a small skeleton crew who's doing quite a bit as we speak. And also, these are people that live in town, pay taxes in town, have families in town, and I'd like you to certainly reconsider before you make any movement toward outsourcing that. Now, for some more moans and groans, another thing I'd like to bring up is the event that took place on Friday, December 22nd, when Mrs. Smith came into the Borough Hall to speak to Mr. Subi. It was during they have a small holiday gathering, and she asked to speak to him, and she had him in the office for about an hour and a half, I understand. And during that time, she told him that he would not need to come back, that he was done on the 31st of December. And so, while there's so many things wrong with that. While it was inappropriate, it was unprofessional. The timing is ruthless. Like, I don't understand the purpose behind coming in on the 22nd to tell him that. You can't just sweep the borough manager under the rug. It should have been done in public. And you can't just make that decision and come in and tell them don't come back. And also that we are planning on doing interim and we'll hire somebody in the future. Normally your borough manager is the interim and works. That's not sort of the transition that should have taken place. So I think I just think it was absolutely inappropriate. I appreciate it. You know, I'm not going to talk when other people are talking, so it'd be nice if we can have these comments and decide. You may not like what I have to say, but what I have to say, a lot of it is actually the truth. You might not believe it, but it is the truth. I think the public needs to know, and I'm just here to tell them. The paper was wrong, okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you. The position of councilperson is one of honor, and I know that all of you are trying to do the best you can in your own particular way. But it's not about titles, it's not about power, it's about doing what's best for the health and the welfare of the borough. And I think I'll just end it with that because we have a very inappropriate audience here, and once again, the bar has been lowered. Thank you, have a good evening. I was told I forgot my name and address, Nancy Sherlock, 424 West Bridge Street.
Thank you, Ms. Sherlock.
I'll wait for the eggs, apparently.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Okay. I'm not even going to address those issues. This isn't the time and the place where this is a time for celebration of all the new appointed people that are up here, the people that are working up here. So I will leave it at that. I look forward to working with everyone. I believe they will with us. It's a new time for Morrisville. Let's move it forward and do some good things. I think we've got some good people up here. We're trying our best with it. We make a mistake, believe me, we're the first ones admit it and correct that mistake. So let's all get on that same path and do some good things. Congratulations, everybody. Okay, now if anyone else doesn't wish to speak, we'll continue with this. The next motion is under finance. It's a motion to adopt a resolution to obtain a bond for the interim manager in the amount of $100,000.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, and if I could have a roll call now, please. Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mr. Arsbaugh?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
No.
Ms. Larson?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
No.
Mr. Pepperton?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Ms. Smith? Yes. Passes 6-2 for the bonding for our interim manager at $100,000. Okay. At this point, it's under any other business, so it would be any discussion by the borough officials if you would like to speak at this time.
Yeah, just real quickly, I would like to thank Mr. Subi for his time as our borough manager. He lowered taxes and he did a great job moving a lot of projects forward that are stagnant. So I would like to thank him for that, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anyone else, please?
Debbie, I'd really like to congratulate everyone tonight and look forward to working with everyone up here.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, real quick, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming out. It has been a contentious time. At this point, I'm very excited and so I feel so good about the direction that this town's going to be going in, not just from the people that are on this dais, but from the people in our town that are so excited about the changes that are going to be made in this town. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? Okay, the only thing I will say is one of the remarks being made about outsourcing the public works. We're not outsourcing the public works, just to let you know. Our borough workers work very hard, and we all know that. So there isn't anything like that going on. We're just going to look at the best avenues for the best financially for the borough to get the services done and keep everybody employed and to do some good things for the town that need to be done. Okay? So congratulations to everybody, and thank you all for coming out. We appreciate it. And at this point, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Thank you.
Hey Mike, I need you to read. Do you have a blank? My stamp didn't come through the first time. We have another one? Actually. Okay.
I did that purposely, just in case.
Yeah, you have to be anxious, right?
Well, no, I thought maybe I'd mess something up, to be honest with you. And sign it?
Yep.
Dave, where do you picture?
Yeah, I know.
You see the nonsense here.
I know, when you went out of camera, like, are you kidding me?
I was expecting her to do something stupid.
Maybe I thought she was
Well, I'm the last information from Bruce. Gonna rip this one up. And then I'm gonna sell it.
All right, that's all I need. I told you. Well, she's one of the two.
yeah.
They had a lot of, they stayed alive. They stayed alive because they rented their home and had a catering. So everyone there and I like 250. And that's my lot. My lot. They're shifting everybody to new town, but I'm going I'm just a shooter for That's the only place